Well, it's time now to get the latest business news, and we're going to stay on the ongoing strikes here in France and take, of course, a closer look at the economic cost of it all. To tell us a bit about how companies have been coping with this disruption, here's our business editor, Stephen Carroll. Stephen.
Eve, it's still early to put an exact figure on how much this disruption has cost companies in France, but it's certainly being felt on many sectors of the economy. One of the major retail associations says that sales were down by around a third on the first major demonstration day last Thursday. This, of course, coming at a crucial time for retailers in the run-up to Christmas. Numbers are down too for hotels and for restaurants. But there's also disruption behind the scenes for many businesses, as Catherine Viette reports.
A freight train sitting idle on the tracks, just 3 kilometers short of its destination. It's stuck, unable to make its delivery as the strike has shut down the signaling station. Euro Cargo Rail estimates about 400 of its trains are stranded like this one, and it's hitting the company's bottom line.
The loss of income is probably several million euros. We'll have to see. It depends how long it takes. We're very worried.
Euro Cargo Rail isn't the only company feeling the economic strain. This tool manufacturer is beginning to have supply delays. And while its employees may be able to make it to work, at this Parisian restaurant, it's the customers who aren't showing up.
Normally, both floors of this place are full, but now, as you can see, after I turn on the light, the room is empty.
The owner says the restaurant has lost half of its business, and the impact is even worse than during last year's Yellow Vest protests. The strike is also affecting agencies that provide home care services. Without public transport, workers are finding it almost impossible to make it to clients' homes. On this spreadsheet, dozens and dozens of cancellations.
We can't take 2 or 3 weeks losing half our business. It's just not possible.
In Paris, tourism is taking a hit too, as travelers stay away, worried over the ongoing transit woes.
The American bank Morgan Stanley is cutting 1,500 jobs around the world. That's around 2% of its global workforce. The Financial Times, quoting sources at the bank, is saying that the move reflects uncertainty over its outlook for 2020, with Brexit, the US presidential election and the US-China trade war. The job loss is coming despite Morgan Stanley reporting its highest ever revenues in the third quarter of this year. US negotiators will travel to Mexico today to secure changes to their new trade deal in a bid to win support from Democratic lawmakers in Washington. The US-Mexico-Canada agreement was agreed last year to replace the previous trade deal, NAFTA. But President Trump needs the support of the Democrat-controlled House of Representatives to ratify it. The Democrats have been looking for tweaks to the agreement, including better protection for workers in Mexico. Speaking on Monday, House Speaker Nancy Pelosi appeared optimistic.
We're close. We're not quite finished yet, but we're within range. It is something that I take an ambitious approach to, that we would not only have a trade agreement with Mexico and Canada, but it would be a prototype, a template for future trade agreements, recognizing that globalization is a fact of life. It is inevitable. Now, how do we participate in a way that again, is productive and predictable?
Well, trade issues are weighing on the minds of investors today as well. That's as Washington is due to increase tariffs on $160 billion worth of Chinese goods this Sunday as part of their ongoing trade dispute. Now, President Trump is expected to delay that move, but it's still hanging over the markets today. London, Paris and Frankfurt all trading in the red. Mining companies among those seeing falls. Of course, they would have greater exposure to China. Stronger sterling also weighing on the exporting firms listed on London's FTSE 100 ahead of the election on Thursday. On the markets in Asia, a mixed picture. Falls in Tokyo and Hong Kong, but gains in Shanghai and in Seoul. Now, Amazon says it was denied a $10 billion contract with the Pentagon because of pressure from President Trump. It's now suing the Department of Defense and wants it to review its decision. In legal documents filed as part of the case, the online giant claimed that Donald Trump improperly leaned on defense officials in order to award the lucrative deal to its rival, Microsoft. And finally, for me, an e-scooter manufacturer in the United States is shutting down after blowing all of its cash on Google and Facebook ads. Unicorn emailed its customers saying that it won't be able to deliver any of the scooters customers ordered and that it can't issue refunds because it has no money left. In the particularly honest message sent by CEO Nick Evans, he said the company had totally failed as a business. He said that they decided to stop taking orders rather than continuing on, despite it being what he called a very difficult decision to shut down. Unicorn's reported to have taken some 350 orders to date. These scooters selling for around $700, so quite a lot of people out of pocket by quite a lot.
Oh yeah, tough one. Stephen, thanks a lot for that business update. Stephen Carroll with us there.